friends, MD Vegan Juice Fasting Day, once a week. It's called Gentle Juicefasting. To me, the most effective way of fasting at all. After many years of trying and error and so, the best way is, I say, every day, every week, one day, forever. Rest of the life. My new life rhythm. Mine adopted it 7 years ago, so before I'd fasted very tough, very to the limits always, as I did before. But then the idea of flow came into my life. Flow, that means always feeling great. Doing no harm to yourself. Always letting the energy flow inside. That is the best way to heal. Not interrupting all the time. It's just always slightly going up. I had that principle in my life before, but I had no word for it. My father was very extreme. He said, I rather live intense and die early, but I had life. And that was, I grew up with that, and I thought, wow, that is interesting. But then I found, no, when I was doing martial arts in the Asian disciplines, I thought, well, we always learn here daily practice, constant, improvement, continuity. And that's also the idea behind yoga. The idea of yoga is doing it every day, constantly. And that is energetically, economically, the best way to proceed in long term. You might have very good results on short time if you go extreme, but you cannot keep it. And that's a law of nature. It's very simple to understand. You will fall down again. The likeliness that you fall down again very hard and you rise high very quick is very likely. It's a very big likeliness, very high probability. So it's more safe to go, if you can, in states of emergency, of course, you have to take measures, of course, but on the long run, So that's why also I experience this gentle juice fasting is so pleasant. I enjoy the juices once a week. Juices, not milk, so how the intestine has to rest and take in some nutrients with the juices and not so many calories, and the intestines rest. That means the digestion system rests. That means no energy goes into digestion from the food. Usually I use 60% of the food for digestion, just for digestion, and only 40% for nutrition. So it's a very uneconomic way, but we need our digestion because that is the big part of the immune system. 70% of the immune system is in the intestines. There are huge amounts of bacteria, they live there, they have to thrive, we have to feed them, and all this is going on every single day with the rhythm of nature, the biorhythm, the circadian rhythms it's called. But on the fasting day, they rest. It also means we can model these rhythms. We can listen to our inner nature, distance us a little bit from our worldly affairs, go more inside, take time to cleanse, to self-reflect, to meditate, and that is a good source for creativity. And creativity is the talking point that leads me to the new recipe. I happen to make new juice recipes once a week on these fasting days because it's very nice to have this high state of intuition, this more turning inside, the high energy on the mind, on the intellect. That allows me to taste more intense, to feel deeper, to experience more intense. So this is very interesting because I taste these ingredients. I have a beet juice, for example, today. A large red beet is at the base of this juice, of this recipe idea. And here you see the large beet. It's one beet. I cleanse a little bit and cut it into pieces for the juicer. That is easy to enter the juice. And the beet juices, they can be wonderful, delicious if I combine them with other fruit, sweet and sour fruit, like orange today. I have some oranges. It should be a little bit more than the beet. The juice and the fruit has to be a little bit more than the beet. Here I have a little bit more oranges than beet to make it more delicious, because the beet by itself is very harsh. It can scratch in the throat because of the oxalates, that is special salt in the beets and other fruit too, and other vegetables too. And this is not so good, but in moderation, it's okay. If you're healthy, that's no problem. And if you're vegan, then it's no problem at all. Usually that comes from, if you're not vegan, then you have these problems with oxalates, not when you're vegan. So that's the good news, but it is not good for the flavor to it scratches, it's unpleasant, and if you put orange juice, for example, then this doesn't happen. That's very good. So oranges and beet is the base, and that there are many options how to refine beet juice to make it delicious, let's say, to make it delightful. Orange is the easiest way. And it keeps the earth flavor of the beet. It keeps that flavor. Other fruit like mango, for example, extreme example, mango totally changes the beet flavor. If you have a beet mango juice, you don't taste any earth flavor anymore. It's just a completely new flavor. That's another story. But the orange here keeps the beet flavor and it still doesn't scratch. It's a nice earth flavor. Without the scratching, but it's very pleasant, very nice, and but it's a very different story from other. So I learn these fasting days. I learn to understand how different combinations play out, how the fruit and the vegetables react with each other, how they combine, how they taste, how they work in the body. You know, in general, fruit and beets are high in sugar. It's a great energy. It gives me a boost in energy. I have to drink it slowly, so the energy goes slowly into the body because there's no digestion, it goes direct into the bloodstream, no fiber to moderate the sugar intake, so it goes in directly in the bloodstream, can push the sugar in the blood high, a sugar spike that is called, that can cause a little problem with the insulin resistance and these kind of things. I don't want to go into details now, but to avoid that, it's very easy to do it only once a week. Yeah? And to drink slowly, sip by sip. Just one juice, maybe a liter or so, I don't know what comes out of it. And I take that for a whole meal, replacement for a whole meal compared to a regular eating day. Yeah. On the fasting day, I have these meals of juice. I drink it very slowly so the body can moderate itself. Yeah. And then I enjoy this wonderful nutrients. Red beet is very great because if you drink beet juice or you eat beets, you can improve your endurance, your performance when you're working out. That's a proven fact, of science. So beet is very strong, healthy. Because of that also, it is a red color. That's the same color with the blood. It has a lot to do with that too, but I don't go into details now. So it's called nitrogen or something, helps the blood to take more oxygen, and then you can be more, do better performance. It's very notable. So beet juice is very important for strength, you know, for endurance. So this is a good way, a good play on the, plays good in the fasting day, because on the fasting day it can happen that you're not used to it and that you lose a little bit of energy. You go down because it's new maybe. But the beet juice always helps to push, you know, to really get power. I like it a lot. Also the sugar, of course. So that is the beet juice in the beginning. And what I do usually do is I can take the beet juice with the oranges as is, that is delicious. I did that before, that's very nice. I can also put ginger and lemon to it. The lemon changes the flavor strongly here in the beet orange juice. It's a very different juice if you have orange beet juice or orange lemon beet juice. They have a difference. Not always like that, but with beet it is. And add ginger. Ginger doesn't change the flavor so much. It makes it more hot, yeah, more powerful, and more energetic. Yeah, but it doesn't really add own flavor. It enhances the other flavors. Oftentimes it's the same with the lemon. The lemon oftentimes it doesn't enhance, doesn't add another flavor. It enhances. But strangely, the orange and the beet juice is really changed, altered in the flavor, just using a lemon. It's a whole different way. But you can make this experience for yourself. I really like this kind of playing with flavors and combinations. I guess that's also at the base of my general experience with cooking. You know, the science is limited. Our Western experimental science is limited to certain aspects of the truth, of the reality, of what we see in the world. We focus in science methodologically on a certain aspect. Science is usually not holistic. Yeah. The future science might become holistic, and that would be a much better science. But our science today is only focused on abstract. That's the big invention 2,500 years ago. Aristotle, he invented the abstraction. So you focus on a certain aspect of reality, and that's good if you do it right. It's good, it's okay, it's not wrong. But you don't have the whole thing, the whole picture. So science is limited to certain aspects of the reality, and so the chefs, everybody makes food, tries to find new recipes, finds out a lot more beyond the science. For example, I combine the whole food ingredients and find out by my feeling about what happens in my system, in my body, in my mind. I can feel that. I can tell you about this. It's not a scientific experience. I can just relate from my anecdotal experiences. Yeah, I can share. I can make a new flavor, and this flavor maybe you like it too, or so. Therefore, the chef does. At the same time, my food should be healthy. Yeah? Otherwise, I cannot convince people to turn vegan, because my mom would never have a food from me if I say it's vegan, it's good for the animals, but not healthy. Then she said, okay, go away. My food needs to be healthy. she has to be convinced all the way. She wouldn't allow that food that had not be healthy. Of course, animal food is not healthy at all, but that's a long story to go. Okay, it has to be healthy, and the health benefits. The different health benefits. I can experience them with the whole food beyond science, because science would need thousands and hundred thousands of single experiments to prove all the phytonutrients, how they play together in different ingredients, and they don't have the resources for that. That is up to the chefs, I would say, to find out and to bring more experience to the people. In the manifested as good flavors. It tastes good, and we found, that is nice, in science we found that flavor too is a nutrient. Flavors are phytonutrients, nutrients made by plants. Flavors, so the great flavor of plant food comes from the phytonutrient that can only be made by plants. Food in general tastes only when it contains plants. The plant is that what tastes good in food. That's also a striking argument from my mom. I say, why do you eat this? It doesn't taste like nothing. You have to put some plants into that, spices and so, to make it tasty. She didn't understand. Yeah, already, you're right. It doesn't taste like anything. The plants bring the flavor, and the flavor is healthy. Yeah, very interesting conversation about that. But, so, to make a long matter short, I would begin with this new recipe, adding celery stalks. Stalk celery are very healthy. We know that from many scientific researches, but they have a very strong flavor. And if you just have celery juice, I wouldn't like it. It's really not nice. I would say it's very unpleasant, but many people like it because it is so healthy. Okay, but if you put a little bit of celery, like 1 or 2 stalks, to a liter of juice, other in fruits, you get a smoky tone. Very interesting, like smoked paprika or so. But adding celery can do that too, and that is very interesting. I have tried that now with other recipes with beet juice. It was delicious. It gets really something rough, but very nice, strong flavor. It fits very nice to the earth flavor of the beet. Now I'm very excited, very curious how to play out with the beet juice with the orange, because the orange does not change that beet flavor that much. It takes away the unpleasant aspects, but the beet flavor stays intact. So it's a very strong earth flavor, and that might be very nice together, or maybe the opposite, I don't know, with the celery. Let's find out. I will come back in a moment with the juice, and that tasted in front of you, guys. My juice is done. I have 1.5 liters almost. See? 1.5 liters. Yeah, this is almost 1.5, maybe 1.3 or so. Always interesting to know the quantities, measurements. It comes out of how much fruit and so. So did not taste it yet. I will do that now. Let's see. I mixed it, of course, the batches. You have several batches. You always have to mix it afterwards to make it even everywhere. Otherwise, you see a little bit more orange in this one, a little bit more beet in that one, and so on. And so make it even. So I can taste it now and tell you in a moment. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I have to drink the whole thing to tell you more. But the celery flavor is already there. And it's interesting, it's a pure celery flavor. In other recipes where the celery was used, where the beet was altered by, let's say, like a pear or so, the celery took on another tone. But here also, as I said with the orange, the celery keeps its celery flavor. You know the celery flavor. It's a very typical flavor. It's not unpleasant. It's nice. But in a juice, it can be just too much. Here it's nice, and it is there like a second layer on the beet flavor. The pure beet flavor is there without any unpleasant scratching. I mean, the scratching comes only in half an hour later or so. It doesn't begin immediately. It comes a half an hour later. Usually the scratching begins if you drink pure beet juice. But I don't think it will come. Usually when they have the beet and the orange juice, there's no scratching. Not even a half hour later. And then if the scratching comes, it takes about 2 hours or so until it goes away. There is no danger to that. Yeah? You don't need to do anything about it, but you just feel that scratching and it's not so pleasant. That's all. But there's something is not right. But you don't need to worry about that. But you want to avoid it because it's not pleasant. It is distracting a little bit, disturbing a little bit. But this is not here. I don't think it would come because of the orange juice. And now the beet flavor is there without the scratching and the celery flavor together. And the lemon, of course, and the orange is there. Yeah, but the beet and the celery, the very nice flavor. I show you what the juice looks like. It has a nice, pleasant beet color. It's a light red. Dark, it's a brilliant red. I would say not light, it's dark. It's brilliant. So radiating a lot. It's a pure color almost, not broken by white or so. And here, it's a very nice texture. It's not too thick. It's pretty runny. That is when you have a fresh beet, yeah, a crunchy fresh beet. The beet juice remains runny. The beet is older, a little bit dried out, and the beet juice also turned a little bit creamier. It's always the difference. Some juices tend to be runny, like orange juice always runny. Apple juice already a little bit thicker, pear juice very thick, mango juice very thick because they have more fiber, less water and so on. But the beet juice here has a nice medium texture, not too thick, nice runny, a little bit creamy, and a wonderful flavor. And to really fully experience that flavor, I have to drink the whole thing, take some time, and then I really feel what it does in the body. Not only on the tongue, on the whole body, I will experience. Yeah, and you tell me if you do the same, if you have another juice like this, maybe beet, celery, orange or something, tell me how you feel about it. In general, I'm very interested in beet juices because that's one of our focus, and I'm very much excited by what the beet can do in flavor world. And what a flavor is, there is nothing, really, no other fruit or vegetable has such an amazing range of different flavors that comes out of it. The beet is there uniquely at the top. Yeah, that's very nice to have. I found that out years ago, and since then I have been really experimenting with beet flavors. Yeah, and one day I will make a book with beet flavors only. I guess beet recipes. That is just a topic for itself. I have to do some more research on it. It's so exciting. It's a big new topic to me. I don't know. There is so much about it around already published. I don't know if there is a lot of beet literature with the flavors. I think that is more something that chefs know on their own in their kitchens without writing books about it. I heard a little bit about it on radio talks with chefs, but nothing written. I will have to look it up, but I will maybe come out with a book one day. And for our next book will be an overview over all my recipes, 12 food categories, each a selection of 9 main recipes there. Going to all the kinds of food I make in the raw food world, and that's for the start, to give an overview, raw food especially, because it is the easiest way to cook. Yeah, it's the easiest way, you can wash it easy, you can prepare it quick, and it is very nice, and you have a direct experience with the ingredients, not too much processing, and that is nice. I don't reject cooked food that is also very nice and super healthy too. Can be, depends. Careful, yeah. For the first book will be just raw. I have all these years, my videos are all raw, mostly because that is the thing I feel there's most of research, most of exploration, discovery is there in the raw food world. Fascinating. But the plant-based world in general is very fascinating. It's a whole new experience, the plant-based food. The whole research in vegan is inspired by veganism, and again, the health research on veganism inspired a whole food movement, the vegan movement around the world. It was inspired by health research in 2014 or so. The global vegan movement began, and also in 1987, the book came out, Diet for a New America. That book also sparked the first vegan movement in the United States, where it all began. Veganism began in England, in London, in the 45 or 44, 45, 46 or so, when the word vegan was coined by the Vegan Society. But the movement began only in America in 1987 or 86 or something, with a vegan movement in America, Diet of the New America. And it was inspired, by the way, by my yoga teacher, Carly Ray, happened to be the inspiration for this book. It's also written in the preface of the book. He refers to Yogini Kali Ray, he calls her then, Yogini Kalaji today. You will find her on the internet everywhere. She's a vegan advocate for the animals. All her business life, or yoga life, she's not a business person at all. She does only yoga for the animals and for the well-being of humans, everything in nature. She's a great vegan advocate, and she inspired this book and the first vegan movement in the USA, actually. That's what she did. There is no doubt about that. You can find out. Nobody knows that, but she's very humble. She doesn't tell everybody. But it's written in the book. Yeah, she was it. Yeah. Diet for New America. Look it up in the preface. I have the book here. I found out. I read it. It's there. Yeah, very proud of it. I'm a student. Yeah. I'm very proud of her. She's a vegan advocate, big time. Yeah. So, and then 2014, the big global movement began. Everything changed, and it was inspired again by healthy food. Yeah, healthy food. And now more and more dietitians come into the health sector. Medical studies, the study of medicine, has not been involved in nutrition that much. Nutrition never played a role in health science. Strange, yeah? Only with the veganism that began, and now big movements everywhere, and the health sector is very strongly influenced more and more by the vegan movement. And now we learn so much, not only about health, also the flavor world. To me, it's most interesting, the world of flavors that opens by the veganism. That only begins. That's so exciting. That's why I'm so excited, a vegan chef, because all these wonderful new flavors, they are all healthy, mostly. I mean, if you eat whole food, healthy flavors, that is something entirely new. Flavors before veganism were not supposed to be healthy. If you talk to a chef, in the media or so, you see television chefs also in Germany, they said, healthy food, no, it has to be delicious. I remember that so clearly. Nobody said that anymore. That vanished completely. Yeah, that's a change. Yeah, that's a really big change. That's due to veganism. And it's a whole new experience for all of us. And very happy about that development. And I hope it goes on very fast. I hope soon the whole planet be vegan. It's very necessary. We can't wait any longer. It's not just for the pleasure of all. It's necessary. Has become necessary, and science has already understood that. And I hope all of my fellow humans will have understood that very soon too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. If you like MD Vegan, new recipes every single day, subscribe. MD Vegan on YouTube, or find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. And if you find an interest in gentle juice fasting, to me the most effective way of fasting at all, gentle because of being gentle, in the flow, also inspired by my yoga teacher Kali Ray. By the way, by Tree Yoga, you'll find the Facebook page that we made, Facebook Tree Yoga Moon Fasting. Yeah. You can subscribe there, become a member, and for free, of course, and then you see my new juice recipes every week there, but I post my juice recipes also on the other Facebook pages. With a little picture there and some text a little bit written about it, and then you find the video link there. So YouTube is my preferred social media, but I try to be as good as I can everywhere a little bit. Again, thanks for watching, hope you enjoy, hope to see you soon.